I'd like to welcome everyone to our Wright Township meeting tonight with our pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's quite a few people that need it.
Our first item would be the minutes from the November 27th meeting. For motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the meetings from November 27th meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. In addition to our current agenda, we're going to add tonight item. Mr. Shealy would like to speak and have some time this evening, so we're going to add that to our agenda. Whether we continue moving on to the main docket. The motion by the board for approval.
Motion to approve. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Continuing to move on for information purposes only, the balance sheet.
Okay, as you can see there, the funds are staying relatively solid. The operations fund is slipped just a little bit. It would have slipped a lot more had the construction fund not spent so much on it. Education fund is staying pretty solid right now. That's why I want to suggest that we take a look at transferring things more what we should have transferred as an ongoing basis, because you can't sustain it at current level. But you're okay with it right now. I list there also the anticipated tax draw that not anticipated, we got it, but it came in after the end of this month, so that's why the numbers are not showing in the balance. No, it was just on the.
Oh, okay. Are there any questions for on the balance sheet? Can you move it on to public comments? Are there any public comments this evening on the agenda?
I don't know if this is a public comment or anything, but has the school here put in on anything about Highway 30 and everything that they want to do? Because they're only talking about two exits to Highway 30 out of Wausau.
We're talking about two places, you said?
Two places, the exit 30 from Wausau. But they haven't named them yet. I just wanted the school is on it. Because there were several things talked about the library. He was up there last week.
I haven't heard anything about.
They're gonna have another meeting down here pretty soon, but I don't know how, but I'll let you know when it's gonna be.
To add on what Jim's saying, the Indiana Department of Transportation is in the middle of a planning and environmental linkages study for US 30, which has been mentioned multiple times over the last year. They just released their universe of alternatives, which is a slate of different possible things they might do with US 30. Those range from things like J-turns to limited access, freeway the whole way. There's a public comment period that's underway right now, and I believe it's about to close sometime in the next week or so.
Tomorrow.
So if you had comments that you wanted to share, now would be a good time to do so. And there will be more phases to this over the next year.
Is that in addition to what they've been collecting for the last year or so?
Yep, it's kind of a phased thing. There's multiple periods of public comment as they kind of incrementally get closer to their final recommendation.
You just have to go on the website, it'll give you.
Have they changed anything since June, when they were here in June in that meeting? Has they like got rid of alternatives or anything?
They did narrow out some, but ones that weren't particularly
That were,
surprising. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just, when you guys get to number 10, it asks that you give some background on what the building resolution is, what the superintendent's resignation is, and not just, when you're reading your packets and say, I'm gonna just, I don't know what they're gonna be talking about. So-
I'll gladly do that. I'll
Thank you.
gladly do that.
I appreciate it.
Any other public comments? We'll continue moving on to the calendar year.
No, number 6.
Year-to-year, transfer, I'm sorry.
As we approach the end of the year, we need to look at the transfer amounts from the education fund to the operation fund. As I previously discussed, $10,000 a month, which is $120,000 a year, is not enough to sustain operations over the long haul. Next year's budget, it calls for up to $240,000. I'm not sure you'll be able to do quite that much because you can only do 15% of it. So it's gonna be more like $180,000 that you can actually do. So I would request permission, as if the numbers so warrant here at the end of the year, and I think they will, that we transfer up to 50,000 of this year's budget. And then there probably won't be as big a transfer next year. But request permission to transfer up to 50,000 when we get the books all closed out at the end of the year.
Any motion to approve that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Okay, and the next one, permission to transfer funds within accounts, and I assume you've done this every year. At the end of the year, by law, every account has to be in the positive. So if there's some account now that's running $500 below, you have to transfer in $500 to make it at least zero, only within a fund. You can't transfer from the education to the operation to the debt service, but within the operation fund, you gotta do inter-account transfers, so they all end up zero. It's a requirement by law, but invariably, when you get an audit, which we're blessed, we're gonna get one here right after the first of the year, one of the things they're gonna ask is the board give you permission to make them transfers. So I request permission to transfer within accounts to make positive balances in all line items.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfers.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Brian, is there been any major changes on the calendar?
That's just those 4 years. We haven't done anything next year.
Oh, okay, all right,
That's just this one.
got it.
We'll continue moving on to the next line item, which would be the 2024 school board meeting date.
Okay, this was tabled last month because there's only 3 of you here. You have a copy of your, this year's school calendar to look at. And also, there's a memo from ISBA about the required meeting times of the organizational meeting, which in January you have to do that by January 16th. So if it works out, you might want to schedule your January meeting that so you don't have to have 2 meetings. If not, we can have an early morning meeting through the board organization. So it's really you guys' call. You've been the 4th Monday of most months. This last year,
I'm open to it. I don't, whatever works for everyone. What day doesn't work. I know you have training on.
Mondays, 4th Monday's truck check, but I mean, if it works, we made it work so far, so.
I'm okay with anything right now.
If we do,
I think we should.
if we move the one in January up, I'd like to do the 2nd Monday if possible. To keep
The
it
8th?
Mondays, yeah.
But that's not giving a whole lot of time
The closure.
to close out the books, because you have to think about the fact that the first week, my bank statement, I'm probably not even gonna have until the 2nd.
That was just for reorganizational purposes.
right, if you want to try to do it all at once.
Yeah.
Could you do it the 16th?
No. Oh, 16th, yeah,
The
that's Tuesday.
only issue, I mean, and this is just, this is, you guys don't know athletically, that's PCC tournament week.
Oh, that's.
So we
that's
won't
not
know
gonna work.
until the 7th if the girls play Monday, Tuesday, or if the boys play Wednesday, Thursday.
Why don't you just have your organizational meeting separate from our board
It's
meeting and just
fine,
meet tomorrow?
Okay, we can do that, we can do that.
I just don't, I actually have the books closed 5 to 9.
So when would you like to have the organizational meeting? Would you like to have it a morning, a brief meeting, or?
That's fine. I can do it before work myself or after, whatever works best for the rest.
Yeah.
I'm okay anytime.
Okay. January 8th? 8 o'clock in the morning? Will that work?
It's the first day back to school.
Right, but it'll be a brief meeting.
And nothing, you don't need anything from me for that, that's just your
We'll just need the
organizational.
meeting advertised, is all
Okay, I
we'll
can
need.
do that.
We'll have it up front,
1/8.
Thank you.
okay? And then you're looking at the fourth Monday, except probably not in March, correct? Because that's spring break.
Are we wanting to change that or no? The Mondays?
I'm gonna do May as well.
I feel whatever works best.
Memorial Day, the fourth
Yeah.
Monday in May.
Okay.
Let's see.
What are the township meetings generally?
Tuesday.
The Tuesday, so, correct? The
I mean, the fourth Monday has worked well for the other meetings that, you know, that.
That's fine, I
But
was
if it
just
doesn't
wondering.
work, I can change other things that I have.
But the March meeting,
March and May.
And May,
In May, and that's what too.
because of Memorial Day.
right,
Good call, Mr.
we just keep the order other than those 2 months.
right. And what do you want to look at for the March? I mean, the third Monday's not good for the fire, right?
Yeah, as long as it's not the third Monday, I don't care.
What about the 19th of March, that Tuesday? I mean, it's best to set it now, it can
Yeah.
always be changed, but. And in May, the 21st. Okay, well, that'll be the tentative. Fourth Monday except for the March and May meetings.
So the 19th of March and the 21st of May.
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion for approval for those dates?
I'll make a motion to approve those changes to the calendar, the board meeting calendar.
I can second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Continue moving on to the cafeteria.
Okay, some of our pay scales are not very competitive at all, and I'm not sure this is gonna help, but the cafeteria pay is $1 below all the other scales. So, I'm recommending, actually retro to, back to November 11th, the cafeteria pay scale be increased by $1 per hour. And it'll be the same as the study hall aides and the other aides then.
Motion to approve cafeteria pay adjustment.
Wait a minute, please. Now, the paras, do they get that same pay?
Yes,
The paras do?
according to the scale. And we gotta take a serious look at a lot. We can't hire anybody, can't get anyone to
Right.
apply for the jobs.
Right, I was
At these
just wondering, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
Yeah,
approved.
and so there's gonna have to be some other adjustments with this. The one we're making midterm was trying to get someone to apply for the opening that we have. And I anticipate some of the similar adjustments going at the end of this year for some of these other areas. Just gonna have to, I think.
Continue continue to move on to the resignation of the building corporation.
Okay. This is where you had a question. The building corporation is formed because by law, a school can only go in debt 2% of their assessed value. So as a workaround to that for the last 50 years, the building corporation, quote, buys part of the building and then they go into the debt. It's a legal workaround. So the building corporation is non-school officials that are on the building corporation, that they technically buy that portion of the building, they take out the loan, but the school is still responsible for. Well, we found out that Chad is on the building corporation and it's not legal for a school board member to be on the building corporation. So that's why the attorney is asking Chad to resign, and then sometime in the next month or two, you need to appoint someone else. There's 3 people on the building corporation. As long as you have 2, chances are they're not gonna have hardly anything to decide anyway, and if they do, they gotta sign something. But the first step is for Chad to resign, and then another person will be appointed. So Chad, ask for your resignation.
Yes, I will gladly resign my position.
I'll make a motion to approve the resignation.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Move on to library board.
Okay. I'm gonna find your packet quicker than I
You're
do.
make a motion to reappoint Susan Baker to the Cross Public Library.
That's the recommendation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Is this for library board?
Yes.
Susan
Who did that?
Engel.
You made a motion and you seconded it?
Yes.
Thank you, sorry. You're fine.
It was kind of fast.
Sorry. Lacrosse library board?
Yes.
Okay, next is, the cross building. Jim?
Is that me? Thanks for sticking me in your agenda, appreciate that, at short notice. But I've got a question, we submitted our proposal in September and haven't heard anything official back. And I just wanna know if we need to get together and talk about this, or something, we can do to get some type of reply. Because we're making investments now, we've already, got our EIN number and opened up a bank account, and we've got $2,200 already in marked investments, expenditures for this nonprofit.
Well, I don't know if you need an official letter, I think the board shared, but they do not have that kind of money to kick into.
Well, they must have something they're budgeted to maintain the school somehow. You've got a school building you're responsible for.
But as far as money to tear down the building, they don't have that kind of.
Well, how are you maintaining it then?
Well, they have some money.
They have money to maintain it?
To maintain it.
Not to tear it down. Well, you can't continue that on indefinitely. You're gonna have to do something. And, I'm trying to help you out a little bit here. Like I said, it's gonna cost you almost $1 million to tear the building down. And then you guys are on the hook for that. The township is on the hook. If we can take some of that debt away from you, that's what we're prepared to do. The nonprofit is. So, if we're looking at, maybe a couple $100,000, because we want the money to be able to use it for matching grant funds. That's what we're looking for. We can't do this out of pocket. So, if we can save the township money, that's what we're looking at.
If you recall, I think I indicated that, they would probably be able to find $50,000. Now, I don't know if you need that in writing or what, but they don't have the big money, and I realize it may not be enough.
And we have to have, we gotta be able enough to maintain it and move forward on it, and that's what we're looking at. So, if that's all you got, you can, if the board's gonna approve that dollar amount, we'll go back to our attorney and our accountant and see if we can get, raise more money to do this. Because we're gonna need more money to get matching grants.
So not to speak out of line, Mr. Grimmins, but so when you refer to the expenses to maintain, you're referring to the electrical, all the HVAC and things that we're still paying on the building, correct? Water bills.
You got heat, electrical, sewage, you're doing all that right now. If we take this on, we're gonna have to assume that,
So I guess that,
expenses.
because as a board, I know, as a board unit, we definitely need to, Mr. Crimmins and the board to discuss this, we need to come up with like a mission statement, like where's the mission statement, where's the board headed, the trajectory of the corporation, now that we have where we are today and we are one unit. We've made a lot of changes, and I think part of that is understanding, again, to your point, like, I don't know if the board's fully understanding as we look at the vision statement, where we're headed also. Is your intention then was if something were to happen and we would move forward with this, then your intention is to take over all the utilities and everything
Right,
for that building?
right, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys would have to pay rent for that gym.
And we,
No.
part
We're
of
not
that,
giving you the gym.
We're not, you're not,
part of that too, we'd like to be able to use the gymnasium,
We'll
like rent
separate
it,
the
or
things.
however that
We
works,
wouldn't be paying rent
when the
for
school's
gym.
not.
That would have to all be worked out.
Right, yeah, we'd have to work these details out.
I mean, I think we're all grateful that you have interest, because we want to make sure we just need to come up with a strategy so we can get back to you with I know it's been taking a while, since we have an interim superintendent, and a lot of things have been going on in that meantime, so we just need to figure out a business plan so we can professionally get back to you
Okay.
in the right way.
Okay,
I mean, I can tell you, the only way they come up with substantial dollars, it would be a bond issue, because they don't have that kind of spare change sitting around.
you don't have $5 million in cash? I don't need that much. But, yeah, we wanna make it work, so we're trying to, we don't wanna do it on a shoestring. So, yeah, if you guys need more time to talk about it, and if you want us to come in and work something together, I'm glad to do that.
So is it appropriate then that we just come back to you with our own proposals, that here's what we can speak further amongst ourselves, and again, as we build these strategies, then.
Yeah, that would be great, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Moving on to principal report.
Last week, we had 3 concerts here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well-received concerts, a lot of people at all 3 of them. Thank you to the Wausau Lions Club for inviting Melton Cookies. I had Santa here for a few nights, so kids really enjoyed that. And it went really well. I mean, we keep them at 30 to 45 minutes, pretty quick. But the kids did a great job. Last week then, also at the high school level, was homecoming week, so we were doing stuff down at the Tiger Den, and they're decorating down there. Homecoming was Saturday night, and if you were there, you got to see 2 great games. So girls won pretty handily, and the boys won in a thriller at the end. So that was great to see. They'll have their homecoming dance tomorrow night. So the kids, in the past, we've had the dance right after the game, but they want to actually dress up and go out to eat beforehand, so they're gonna have it tomorrow night instead of right after the game last Saturday. Girls basketball team is 13-0 now, so undefeated on the season. So they're gonna keep moving forward. They got a game next week, 3 over break. So hopefully they keep going where they're at, and our boys basketball team has been very competitive this year. There's probably 2 or 3 games that they probably would like to take the second half back up, but they played well this year. They've been very competitive. And I'm gonna have Mr. Clifford talk about robotics real quick and what they've done in the past month.
Past month, we've gone to a couple tournaments. One in Logansport with the elementary school. We had out of the 4 teams we took down there, 3 of them made the finals. 1 team ended up winning the tournament overall. Ended up getting a state bid out of it, so they'll be heading down to Lucas Oil Stadium in March to compete on the field with 100 other elementary teams in the state. Then last weekend, we went to Valparaiso at Ben Franklin, and we had 3 teams going into the finals. We had some issues with the robots late, so dropped them out. We took one team into the finals there. They ended up placing 3rd. The young lady and her partner held the first place position in the skills portion of it the entire day, and they got beat out in the end. And that team is now ranked 2nd in the state, and we are ranked 8th in the state out of 301 teams. So they're pretty high up there. They're already rebuilding a new bot because they don't like to lose. And they realize that there's a portion of the game field that they can't access with their current robot. So they're working on building a complete new one. And we have another tournament on the 6th in Winfield. That 2nd place team in the state will be at again. So.
Congratulations.
It's a different type of competition when you go there. So I think people think of like battle bots when they're fighting one another, but you're actually working with another team, and you have 1 minute to pick up as many blocks as possible and score as many points as possible. And we're at, our team is of 2 kids, and they each drive for 30 seconds. So I mean, there's a lot of kind of pressure on them for 1 minute. But I also know the first tournament we went to, we had a robot that was 1/4 of an inch oversized. So the kids had to go down and break it down and find that 1/4 inch, and and so I will say our middle school kids that have been in it have done a great job helping our elementary kids too. And the one girl that he was talking about in the junior high, she is very meticulous on programming her robot, because that's one part of the skills is they just hit start and that robot has to go by itself for a minute. And so she's been very meticulous on making that right, where sometimes she doesn't even run the bot in a tournament because she doesn't think it's right yet. So she scored very high on that, what helped them get that 8th place ranking. So coming from an athletic background, it's just a completely different day of competition, but the kids are very competitive in it. So it's been great to see our kids get into that. As a parent, waking up at 5 in the morning, getting them on the bus at 5:30, I don't know if I enjoyed that, but that's something, that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do, so, sorry. So, a couple other things, the new hoops are going up in the gym here right now. They came yesterday, took the old ones down. I think they already got 4 new ones up. So they've made progress on that. I'm trying to think of anything else right now. The town had a guest yesterday, Governor Holcomb, and he was at the hangar yesterday as well, eating lunch. And so he wanted to get a tour of the gym, so we were able to give him a tour of the gym, and he took some shots, a few shots, and many shots. I think those were 45. But long story short, Mr. Snodgrass knows the Speaker of the House, and who is pretty good friends with the governor. And the Speaker of the House has been coming to at least one game, trying to come to one game a year at the Tiger Den since Coach Snodgrass has been here. So they're trying to get the governor to come back and see a game this year. So that'd be cool. So his face when he walked into the Tiger Den, he was in awe of it. So he really enjoyed it. And just to add to that, we hosted the 6th grade basketball tournament the first Saturday in December, and we hosted it down at the Tiger Den this year. So the semifinals and finals were there, and a couple of the coaches said, I don't think these kids understand how cool it is to play down here. So that's one thing that we've talked about, is trying to have PCC tournaments. We can't host a lot of things indoors. We just don't, the capacity we don't have. But junior high tournaments we can definitely host. So we're gonna look at trying to host more of the boys and girls basketball middle school tournaments. So that's something that we're gonna take to the PCC and see if we can host those. And it brings in some additional money, concession money that we can use. So that is it for my report.
Okay.
My report, the bonds for the Building Corporation closed last week. The money is sitting in Huntington Bank and some of it in our bank. So that process has moved well. The pool building report, you've probably noticed, the old building's gone, the excavating's done, they put sand in, there's gravel now. Now we're kind of waiting on getting an official state permit. If the weather cooperates, so they set the poles and pour the cement before it really freezes, that would add several months, speed it up. But that's out of our control. The state has the plans and everything, and who knows when we'll get them back. But we're getting there. Found out after the fact, I'm a country boy, you're supposed to have a permit to tear something down. Well, it was tore down before, but we got the permit now.
It's legal, it's good.
Supposed to have a permit to do the excavating, but we're getting it. But the town's working with us, they want their permit money along the way, so we'll get there. And then, right in January, we got a meeting scheduled, first meeting for the design build for the criteria with Scott and Brian, and to start the design phase of the locker rooms and the track and stuff like that. So that is scheduled. I was able to attend a game last week, and after that, we're definitely looking at seeing what it's gonna take to get the lights up and working outside that lacrosse building, because for safety measures, they need to be. And I know Brian's talked to an electrician that's gonna be doing some other work, and we'll try to get them going as soon as we can, because it's pretty dark outside, too dark. That's all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for everyone's attention.